Hi there, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. I'm coming to you from my front yard. We're about to have a storm. The clouds look ominous. They're dark. They look like they're going to be carrying some hail and a lot of rain. So a lot of water coming our way. So I'll try and pump out this Jim's 5 a.m. Club before we cop a heavy drenching. So what I want to do today is have a chat to you about a topic that I've got near and dear to my heart, and it's a topic on well-being, on our health, and it's mainly to do with fluid retention. And I've learnt something over the past couple of years that have helped me, and I thought it'd be a good idea just to float it with everybody else as well, just so that we can understand what leads to fluid retention. And a telltale sign of fluid retention is a bloated look, where you just look bloated all over. So let's have a chat and just try and work out what causes fluid retention and what we can do to get over it. Because it's probably not a good look. It's not a healthy look, and it's something that if you can learn to manage and you can change, that it'll make you feel a lot better as well, and you probably will have some health benefits to enjoy once you've discovered how to get around it. So I guess the first thing to understand about fluid retention is that it comes about from a number of different sources, and I'll just cover off the different things that affect fluid retention. One thing that we need to understand is that we're surrounded by foods that are rich in salt, especially a Greek cuisine, where everything seems to be salted to excess. The cheeses are salty. You've got feta, you've got halloumi, and all the other cheeses. In the Greek cuisine, taste is the key, and salt helps bring out the taste in food. And for that reason, we've had a lot of salt in our diets for many years. So what happens is, when you have a diet which is high in salt, and there's a lot of hidden salts, it's not just the Greek cuisine that is rich in salt. All the processed foods that we eat are heavily laden with salt. The hams, the bacons, the cheese, the McDonald's, you name it. Everything you touch, even the cereals, everything we touch and put into our mouths is overladen with salt. So the other thing is that we eat a lot more than previous generations. So not only are we having more salt because there's more salt in the food, but we're having more volume of food, which means that we're overloading our bodies with salt. And what happens is, when you have salt in your diet in excess, it leads to fluid retention. And what happens there is that the water in your blood is extracted, and it sits below the surface of the skin and is retained in your body. And I guess the body probably understands, like, when you have a lot of salt, for example, you go and have a pizza with anchovies, and all of a sudden you wake up at night and you're thirsty. You drink lots of water, but you don't end up pissing out all of that water, because all of that water is stored in your body and between your skin and your blood veins, and that's why we get that puffiness. And the other thing, interestingly enough, is that you can also get water retention by drinking or having too little salt in your body, because the reverse happens. So you need to have enough salt in your diet, but not too much or too little. The other thing that I've learnt is that stress causes us to retain fluids, because stress infuses our body with cortisol, which is a hormone, which is which helps our body deal with stress. And stress and the cortisol, should I say, sorry, so just having a look at my notes. The cortisol is infused in our body if we have an excessive workout. And I didn't know this for many years, but when I did martial arts is an extreme sort of sport where you thrash yourself in training, in anaerobic style of exercise. So it's very, very vigorous and very, very strenuous. And it's an excessive style of workout. But when you have an excessive style of workout, your body goes into shock. And when it goes into shock, I'm just seeing some lightning happening, so I may have to get up and get out of here soon. But when your body goes into shock, it causes the potassium to be excreted and retains the sodium in your blood vessels, which causes water retention. So you can either get stressed and have your body overwhelmed with cortisol through excessive workouts, but you can also get it by being on low calorie sort of diets. So this cortisol in the body through either stress, which is caused by workouts, or how you eat, will cause your body to excrete the potassium. So pass out the potassium from your body, which then causes you to retain the sodium, the salts, which leads to water retention. Other things that we've learnt over the years is when we have cheat meals. You know, when we get carried away and we go out and we have binge drinking and binge eating. When we have those binge occasions, what we tend to do is we overindulge in calories, which means that we're overindulging in salts, which also leads to water retention, because all of that additional salt, all of those additional carbohydrates in your body need water. They need water. So what a lot of people don't understand is that when you have a carbohydrate-rich diet, and we're talking about the simple carbohydrates, the highly processed foods. I think it could be starting to rain, but I'll move shortly. Each unit of carbohydrate requires 3 units of water. So if you go on a binge eating weekend where you're eating thousands and thousands of calories, pizzas, hamburgers, chips, chocolates, you name it, all of that sort of good stuff. Well, not really good stuff, but all of those calories need water. That's why after having lots of chocolate, you need to have water. Or when you have a pizza or you have bread, you need to have water, because water goes with those carbohydrates. Because those carbohydrates are stored as glycogen in your muscles, and to be able to be stored as glycogen in your muscles needs water for that chemical reaction for it to happen. So if you see where I'm coming from, so what you eat and the volume of what you eat and the contents of what's in that what you eat all cause a chemical reaction which leads to water retention. And when you have a binge weekend, or you know how sometimes you'll go to a Christmas function or an Easter function or a barbecue and you eat as much as you can, and then all of a sudden you get home the next morning and you're 2 kilos heavier. And you go, what the bloody hell happened there? How did I put on 2 kilos or 3 kilos overnight? It's starting to rain, so I'll get up and move. But the answer is that those 2 or 3 kilos came from all those carbohydrates that you've had and have stayed in your system and have needed water in order to be stored as glycogen, and also are stored between your muscle and your skin in that puffiness. Other things that impact, starting to rain now, other things that impact fluid retention are medicines. There are different medicines. Also, if you're low on vitamins, there are certain vitamins that you need in your diet. If you're low on B1, B6 or B5, or a combination of those three, it will also lead to water retention. For the women out there, pre and post menstruation, the water retention is due to hormonal imbalances which happen during this period of the month, and water retention also happens when you're not drinking or not consuming enough water. So as counterintuitive as it sounds, if you're not drinking enough water, your body's going to think that you're in a famine style of environment, that and it needs to conserve the water, so it'll keep the water. So counterintuitively, if you drink up to 3 litres of water a day, so a number of eating plans that I've been on the fat program, and the key to that losing weight on the fat program was that you needed to drink 3 litres of water every single day. And by drinking lots and lots of water, it tricks your body and it tells your body that all is good. There's no scarcity out there in terms of food or hydration. And what your body does is it releases toxins, it releases fat, it releases excess water, because it knows that there is enough water to keep you healthy, happy and nutritious and hydrated. So that's something which is very, very counterintuitive. And you think, well, if I drink 3 litres of water a day, that means I'm putting 3 litres of fluid in my body, which means that I'll be 3 kilos heavier. But the opposite happens. You drink your 3 litres and you'll piss out those 3 litres, or maybe even more. You may even excrete 4 litres of water, because you're passing out not only the water that you've taken into your body, but you're also passing out retained water. Water that has been retained by your body because it thinks that there's not enough fluid to come into your body, so it decides to take the safe path and have as much water left in your body to enable you to be safe, happy and healthy. So there you go. So how do we solve our bloating? Well, we cut down salts. We cut down the stresses in our life. We try not to exert ourselves terribly in our exercise routine, but you're better off walking or doing a slow jog or doing fun activities like dancing that will flood your body with endorphins as opposed to cortisol. There's a girl over there just walking in the rain, the poor thing. So the call to action is to try and do something and to hydrate and to live a life which is balanced. Minimize the stress, minimize the salt, minimize the carbs. The carbs are the killer. The carbs are the things which load your body up with water, with excess water, and makes us look bloated. And bloated isn't a good look. A lot of people, once they remove carbs from their diet and go on a keto diet for a few days, for example, if I go on a keto diet and I have just protein for 3 or 4 days with lots and lots of water and greens, I'll drop 3 kilos easy on the scales. I'll drop the bloated look. I'll feel healthier. I'll look healthier, and I'll feel better. But carbs are hard to drop because carbs make us feel good. They're a comfort food. But if you want to look good, if you want to feel good, and if you want to eliminate the fluid retention, there's the thunder on cue, then consider the things that we've talked about and do whatever you can to improve your health and improve your look. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's do something about our health. Let's do something positive about our health so that we can open the doors to a healthier version of you, where you hydrate to the point where you no longer retain fluids, and you look and feel much, much better. Anyway, take care everybody. Yassas from Jim's 5am Club. Que taleme. Bye for now. Yassas and bye. Take care.